Look, man, stop getting distracted. Stop falling into these distractions. Stop falling into these temptations, bro, because you're not behind because you're not capable. You're not behind because you don't have the skill set. You might feel behind because you're distracted. You might feel behind because you're falling into these distractions. Every time you go doom scroll on social media, every excuse you make, every hour you waste is laying in the bed could lead you to something bigger. All those things are costing you your goals. They're costing you your dreams. They're costing you your purpose. They're causing you to feel like you're behind. They're causing you to feel like you're lost. Like every hour you waste, every moment you waste just scrolling on social media, every excuse you make, it's costing you something bigger. Why do you keep allowing the distractions to win? Why do you keep allowing the distractions to keep you in the same place? The distractions are the enemy of progress, bro. The devil, he doesn't always attack with destruction. He doesn't always make himself known. Sometimes it's just a distraction. Sometimes it's a simple text from somebody. Sometimes it's TikTok. Sometimes it's being lazy. Sometimes it's the excuses you make. Like you think you're fine and you think you don't have time because you're so-called busy. But like I always say, bro, everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. What are you going to do with them? Are you actually spending those 24 hours in the best way possible for you to grow, for you to achieve your dreams, for you to achieve your goals, for you to become the person that you want to become? You're not just busy. You don't use every hour of the 24. And some of those hours you could be putting work in. You can be grinding. You could be getting closer to God. You can be working on yourself. But you choose to scroll on social media. You choose to just lay in the bed. You choose to make excuses. Like stop letting distractions corrupt your progress. Stop letting distractions stop your progress. Like you can be the person you want to be. You just got to cut off all the distractions. You're letting these small things, you're letting these small distractions steal all the big potential that you got. Like you got so much potential to be where you want to be. You got so much potential to be the person you want to become, to achieve your goals, to achieve your dreams. But you're letting these small things and these small distractions rob you of that. How many times has social media or Netflix or these bad habits took away your focus? How many times have you just laid in your bed and scrolled on TikTok? How many times have you just laid in your bed and watched Netflix all day and didn't get a single thing done? I'm the same way, bro. Like I have days where I don't do anything and I feel like, bro, I didn't do anything today. I didn't get 1% better today. I didn't put no work towards where I want to be. I didn't take a step forward today. These distractions in life rob me of my focus. I let them rob me of my focus. What can I do better to change that tomorrow? Every moment you give to distractions is a moment that you could have used to grow, to learn, to build, to heal, to take a step forward, to work on you, to work on your craft. Every moment you give to distractions is a moment where you can be better. You can win that battle against yourself, where you can, be 1% better than you were yesterday. And like we're human, bro. We're gonna fall into distractions sometimes, but we gotta, cut the times we fall into distractions down. Like we fall into distractions a lot. I fall into distractions a lot, and it's something I've been working on recently. Is not trying to be on my phone as much, or not trying to play the game as much, because I don't really watch TV. I don't really watch Netflix like that. But a lot of the times where my focus is robbed is social media, or not even social media, just TikTok, because I don't have any other social media. But it's TikTok or YouTube or the video games. Like that's where all my focus goes to sometimes, when I could be using that time to grow something, to build something, to learn something, to go read a book, to go read the Bible. Like I could be using those times, in a better way. And I've realized that, and that's something I'm trying to work on. So like your focus, bro, it's a weapon. You just gotta use it. Like your focus is a weapon. People who win in life, people who are successful, people who have became the best version of themselves, they're not always the most talented. Like I've always said, bro, hard work is gonna beat talent when talent does not work hard. Hard work is always gonna win that battle. The people who are the most successful, the people who win in life, they're not the most talented, they're just the most focused. There's the people who work the hardest. There's just the people who take advantage of them 24 hours that they got in a day. They build good routines, they build good habits. When you just lock in and cut out all the noise, you just lock in and cut out everything around you, bro, you start to move faster, you start to grow faster, you start to have a clearer mindset, and you grow with power. You take steps forward with power, you know where you want to be. So just be disciplined, bro. Like at the end of the day, discipline is not a restriction from you stopping, doing the things that you like to do. Discipline is just freedom. Saying no to distractions It's simply just saying yes to your purpose. It's saying yes to becoming the person you want to be. It's saying yes to your goals. It's saying yes to your dreams. It's not a restriction. You don't got to do all the things that everybody else doing because you know where you want to be. You know the goals that you got for yourself. You know the things that you dream of every single day. I promise you, when it's all said and done and in the future, you're never going to regret all that time you spent getting better. You're never going to regret all that time you spent working on yourself and working towards your craft. You're never going to regret that. But you will regret the time that you wasted. You know, you will regret the time that you spent falling into these distractions. You will regret the time that you could have used to be a better person, you know, to grow your business, to grow your YouTube, to grow whatever you're trying to grow. If you don't use that time wisely, you're going to regret that in the future. So, you know, live life with no regrets, bro. Like, go put all your eggs in one basket. Go work as hard as you can. You know, say no to distractions. Every time you feel distracted, bro, just ask yourself, like, is this helping me become who I want to be? Is this helping me get closer to my goals? Is this helping me get closer to my dreams? Is this helping me become the best version of myself? And if it's not, bro, just cut it. You know, if it's not, stop doing it. If it's not, flee from it. You know, you don't got to try to fight it. Just flee from it. Just flee from it. That's all you got to do, bro, because at the end of the day, focus is your superpower. Focus is what's going to take you to that next level. Focus is what's going to help them goals and them dreams get met. Focus is what's going to help you become the best version of yourself. So you got to protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does at the end of the day. Like, your future depends on how focused you are right now. Your future depends on how many distractions you give into right now. So, you know, you say you want to be this person. You say you want to reach your goals. You say you want to reach your dreams, bro. How focused are you right now? But that'll be all for this video, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you like this video, go hit that sub button. On the way to 500 subs. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one.